All right, this your boy Jay Wright, Be Entertained Magazine, sitting here with somebody everybody knows, man. You've been heavy in the streets for years.
Yeah,
Lloyd Banks, man, what's cracking?
I'm good, man. What's poppin'?
Appreciate the chop it up, man. We know you're on the verge of dropping something huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be critically acclaimed,
Yeah.
more than commercial, man.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
kind of just tell us about the hunger for more too, and where you going with your music.
Oh, man. Well, for those that don't know, I've been functioning as a solo independent artist for the last 2 years, 2.5 years, you know, in between record deals. Basically, been putting the grind in. I built a studio on my own. I put out 5 mixtapes from September to September. The last one dropped last December, and then following that momentum, I put out Beamer Benson Bentley for the first single. And I expected big things, but the record grew like beyond my expectations, and which immediately started a bidding war. Like labels started calling, Def Jam, Interscope, same label who released me up prior to that, EMI, you know, so I was like, you know what, let's just ride it out, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't really too eager to jump right into another situation, and the record was added to New York radio in 3 days, right. So it didn't take too long, you know, and I was overseas, I came back from overseas a month and a half later. The record was #1 throughout the East. I did about 10 summer jams off of it. And then the reality of me putting the album came out. I was like, all right, now I got to go in there and knock out an album now. You know, I didn't have a theme. I wasn't thinking like that because I was prepared to do 3 or 4 Beamer Benson Bentley.
Right.
You know, because that's the way the business is. You know, my first album came, you drop 1 single, you could put your album out after that. Now you got to work 2 or 3 singles sometimes, mixtape. So I was prepared to keep grinding, but, you know, fortunate enough for me, that record was so crazy that I was like, you know what, I got to name the new album Hunger for More Part 2, because I haven't felt the energy like this since 2004.
Definitely. And man, I know industry is real driven off of first week sales right now, and you dropping on a real crazy week, man. So speak to me about how it feels to be dropping with such legends, and how you feel about first week.
Oh, man, well, you know, it's like the magic show in music. You know, I just want to have my product there. You know what I mean? What better day to have it there than everybody's day? Definitely. You know, so hopefully, and I think that, you know, all of us as individuals, I think we have a core following of our own, all in the same audience. You know, so it's like high school. It's like, you know, or a basketball team. You know, it could be a center, point guard, small forward. People like you for different reasons, but we all are we're all representing hip-hop for that day, you know. So at the end of the day, it's not so many people that know me that don't know Nicki, or know Nicki that don't know Kanye. So it's our job as artists to win you over. Right. You know, we know that you know what we do, but when we impact is when it counts. And I feel like our core followings will definitely be there in support of the album, but and it's dropping on a Monday now.
Right.
It's just good to be in there with the traffic. You know?
Definitely.
My expectations are high.
Yeah.
At the same time, I'm an independent artist, so just got to keep that in mind. Watch the numbers, because those numbers, they equate, you know, different.
Yeah. But you being a fan of music, starting on the mixtape scene, who is Lloyd Banks running out to get? Outside of a couple of your own, who's Lloyd Banks running out to get today?
Well, to be honest with you, even if I wasn't Lloyd Banks, I would get Nicki and Kanye's, because, I mean, Kanye is Kanye. Like, that's an album you're going to be able to play from top to bottom.
Right.
You know, not too many, you know what I mean? I can't say that for too many people. And it's a completely different lane of hip-hop than what I do. And Nicki, I mean, like I said, we haven't seen a talent like her, I don't want to say since anybody, but it's in a long time. You know, artists like her come around every 5-10 years maybe. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm happy for her. And I would have got both.
Definitely. The Hunger for More too, you got a whole bunch of big names on it. So drop us what it is with the album and kind of lead us into why we should get it.
Well, first off, I want to thank everybody that supported the Beamer Benson Bentley movement. For one, we're over 600,000 units sold on that now, so I definitely appreciate that.
Congrats, man.
Appreciate that. And that led into, of course, the second single, Any Girl, featuring Lloyd.
That's a banger.
Yeah,
buddy.
And then I got the Started Up joint now, that's on the street, which is me, Kanye, Fabulous, Swiss Beats, and Ryan Leslie. So they can check that now. As far as the bulk of the album is definitely reminiscent of the Hunger for More 1. You know, I got records with Raekwon, a joint called Sooner or Later. I got a joint with Pusha T called Home Sweet Home. That's crazy. I got a joint with Akon called Celebrity. Crazy. Another joint with Ryan Leslie. So Forgetful. Who else is on? Jeremiah's on the project. 50. Yayo. Got a joint with Styles P. It's retarded. And Eminem was on the album also, a record called Where I'm At, which is like so far gone, you know, as far as lyrically. I think people are they're gonna start giving me my props, you know what I'm saying? Slowly but surely it's gonna happen for me. And I think that once the album is out, and that's another thing about like the list and everything, it's kind of crazy to me that they do these hip hop lists before my album even came out.
Right.
I didn't drop out. I think Jeezy got an album coming out. Nicki's album didn't come out. Like, you don't know where your ranking may be after they hear that body of work. You understand what I'm saying? So they should do that list in January. We talk again.
Yeah, yes sir, yes sir. Before I let you go, man, you've been one of the most controversial artists to date, man. We know that you've worked with 50 since your beginnings, and you've seen him, the rise, the fall, the drop, the come back up. So how's it just been working with 50, and how has that impacted your career and what you want to do?
Well, you know, I always had a good representation. I always had a good example of what to do and what not to do. You know, dating back to 02. You know, some of the first people I was around outside of Shy Money in the business was like, it went from me being just me, 50 and Shy Money and Yale, to me being in Detroit with Eminem. You know what I mean? Me being in LA with Drake. Snoop is there, and Exhibit's there, and Nate Dogg's there. You know, and my mind is just going like, you know, 1,000 miles an hour. And, you know, with all that being said, I had good references to what was a good show, a good interview, or, you know, what have you. So it wasn't, you know, just 50. You know, his work ethic is, you know, through the roof. You know, so a lot of the things that happened, I was the last one to be shocked. Like, I knew it was going to happen for us, you know. And he's the first one to tell me, like, you know, you just got to work through that. It's a business, you know what I mean? Some people are fickle. Music doesn't stay in one pocket for anybody. And I think that's the challenge, is to reinvent yourself, you know. And that's, you know, one thing that 50 does well, you know. So anybody that doubts him, it just kind of fuels the fire, because it damn sure fueled me. You know, it's one thing to win when everybody wants you to win, but it feels so much better if you win and nobody wanted you to win.
Absolutely. Our issue drops a week before your CD comes out, man. It's all about the DJs. So take your time out right now to kind of speak to the DJs around the world, man. We've got core DJs coming here, so.
Well, man, I've been appreciative. I came from the mixtape market for one, so I'm gonna speak to the mixtape DJs first. That ultimately end up on radio and everything. So we kind of help each other, you know. Back in the days, one of my first shows was at Mix Show Power Summit in Puerto Rico. We did that a few times. My biggest crowd, as a matter of fact. So rest in peace to Justo while we at it. I was the mixtape artist of the year in 03, 04, I believe. You know, so my appreciation for that is just like, I got plaques, and those are real important to me. But outside of that, man, I just want to thank all the DJs, you know what I'm saying, for supporting the Hunger for More movement. And I say that since, you know, 03, pushing on now. And I'm going to do my part, you know what I mean? I'm going to make the classic records, make it a lot easier. I know it's a business, but I don't want no pity with my spins. I'm on my spins because the record is crazy, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to stick to my end of it, man, and I'm here, whatever we need. Appreciate it.
Definitely. Lloyd Banks, we appreciate the check.
Likewise.
I knew you was something big. I
couldn't get no car service because all you fucking DJs don't. They like, nah, they got the core DJs, man. I couldn't get a car service.
Shut it down, right? Shut it down, right. Got to shout out my son, man. He's one of your biggest fans, Selly G. He been rocking with you.
Selly G, man. Definitely. Appreciate you, baby. The album's going to be crazy. November 22nd, Hunger for More Part 2.
You're hearing it, B-Man. Bye-bye.
Appreciate it, guys.
Appreciate that.